Hey, welcome, all my right thinkers. Thanks for tuning in to check out your boy, P Funk. Thinking right out here in my land where I do what I do for you. Got something nice for you today. We back in the book. I'm doing my app. I'm getting some lessons in. This ought to be a good one. Let's go. Rightism. 25 rules to live by. Storytelling. Story with a message. There's a message in the story for life. I give you life lessons. You tune in to receive them. I appreciate you. We got a good thing going. Let's do what we do. Right thinking mission, and I'm on it, is to enlighten, inspire, educate, and motivate you, the individual, to a higher spiritual level of enlightenment. Right thinking way of life through mental and spiritual discipline practice daily will help and guide you to obtain your goal of reaching spiritual enlightenment, aka know thyself. My mission is that all right thinkers know thyself. If you're a right thinker, your goal is to know thyself. And you don't. So I asked the question, excuse me, do you know you? So we do tongue twister. You know where we're going with this. Let's get it together. Sorry about that. But I ask you, do you know you? It's rhetorical, but if you know how to answer for yourself too, then I can help you with that. That's what I do. A person who knows not and knows not that they know not is foolish. Disregard them. A person who knows not and knows that they know not is simple. You can teach them. That's why I do what I do for you. Appreciate you too. Thank you. I got more for you. Stay tuned. A person who knows not and believe and think that they know is dangerous. Avoid them. I do. A person who knows and knows that they know is wise. Follow them. The person who knows and knows not that they know is spiritually asleep. It's a bad morning for me. I can wake them. I'm the spiritual alarm clock here to wake you up with knowledge of self. That's what I do for you. A person who knows and knows that they know is wise. Follow them. All these persons reside in you. Right thinkers, know thyself. And to Maya, be true. Right thinkers, let's talk about what is yoga. Explain that to you, break it down for you. Philosophy and spiritual practice. Learning, understanding, and implementing. That's the practice. Let's talk about it. Get a quick lesson before I head to the gym. Now, since a complete trustee of the theory and practice of yoga would require several volumes. I got the book on that. I got you covered for that. But on a basic outline, we will give in here just the basics, okay? Now, when we look out upon the world, we are often baffled by the multiplicity which constitutes the human experience. Remember, we're spiritual beings here to have a human experience. What do we really know about this human experience? Okay? Many scientific disciplines have developed over the last 200 years for the purpose of discovering the mysteries of nature, aka life. But this search has only engendered new questions about the nature of existence, aka life. And yoga is a discipline, yoga is a discipline or a way of life. Thank you. Designed to what? To promote the physical, the mental, and the spiritual development of the human being. Okay? It's giving you the blueprints of how to be your best self. It leads a person to discover the answers, again, to the most important questions of life, such as, if you don't know who I am, that should be a question. And why am I here? Another question. And where am I going? Those are questions in life that if you don't get the answer to, you still don't have the answer to the question that you want to have about yourself. So, who am I? You are God. Female goddess. You and God are one. You're spiritual beings come here to have a human experience. To what? Know thyself. To what? Go back home to your maker. Moving on, I keep trying to make that point known, and this is going to help you with that. Why am I here? To have the human experience, to know thyself. Where am I going? Back home to the maker, if you make it happen while you're here on earth. Until then, you'll continue to be here on earth. Moving on, that's a concept. So, now the term yoga, you hear me say yoga. Yoga is from the Sanskrit in East India, but the African term is really sima. Okay, Samataiwi. The literal meaning of the word yoga is to yoke or to link back, get you back to the essence of who you are, God. Your memory is wiped clean. You don't know who you are. Your ego tells you, I'm so and so. Don't trust the ego, okay? But the implication is to link back to what? Your original source, God. The original essence, God. That which transcends all mental and intellectual attempts to what? Comprehension. But which is the essential nature of everything in creation. When you get conscious of who you are, why you're here, and where you're going, you'll be just fine. Why? Because that's the ticket to the next life after this one. And there is one, theoretically, conceptually, metaphorically, simple. But why is the strict, why in a strict or dogmatic sense, yoga philosophy and practice is a separate, listen, discipline from religion. Yoga and discipline is not the same thing. Okay? Yoga and religion have been linked at many points throughout history for that purpose to think, because no, they don't do that. But in a manner of speaking, yoga is a discipline, may be seen as non-sectarian. Okay? It don't pick and choose. It don't discriminate. It don't care. It just do. Now, and you have a non-sectarian transpersonal science. It's been proven. Okay? Or practice to what? To promote spiritual development and harmony of what? Your mind and body through mental and physical disciplines daily, including meditation. Ding, ding, ding. Psychophysical exercises and performing action with the correct attitude. If you're going to do it, do it. Don't do it not want to do it. That's not going to it's not going to get done right. That's why we knew the slaves couldn't build a pyramid. It gave perfect work. Slaves can't give you perfect work. You can't make somebody give you perfect work. You have to be skilled. That's the difference. So we understand that. And remember, psycho-spiritual, mind, thinking, studying, understanding, comprehending, and then implementing what you study and what you're learning. I'm not telling you this just to hear myself tell you. No, I'm telling you so you can use it, implement it. Why? I do. Moving on. That's how I know what I'm talking about works. Why? I practice it daily. All right. The discipline of yoga. There's 5 of them. They fall under 5 major categories. I didn't give you this, but this is part of the lesson, so I'm going to give it to you again. A little twist, hopefully this time. These are yoga of wisdom, right thinking philosophy. Yoga of devotional love, right thinking philosophy. Yoga of meditation, right thinking philosophy. Tantric yoga, I understand it, but it ain't my favorite. And my favorite personally is yoga of selfless action, selfless service. Within these 5 categories, they are subsidiary forms which are part of the main disciplines. And the important point to remember here is that all aspects of yoga can and should be used in a what? In an integral fashion, meaning as needed, to the effect and efficient and a harmonized spiritual movement within oneself in the practitioner, which is you, right thinker. Therefore, while there may be an area of special emphasis, and I have mine, but other elements are bound to become part of your yoga program as needed. For example, while a yogin may place emphasis on what? The yoga of wisdom. And I do that, I mean learning, understanding, get the concept. So I put emphasis on that. But I also may practice devotional yoga, loving God, devotion to God, doing what's right, till you become God conscious. So all these things you can manifest for yourself, and they all can work together for the same good. And mainly meditation. I'm big on meditation because that's when you get to listen to God. Well, that's my time to let God speak to me, download information. A lot of people say, God talked to me in my sleep. No, I'm sleeping when I'm asleep. When I'm meditating, that's when I have my conversation with God. 2 different concepts, okay? But meditation, yoga, along with what? Wisdom studies, that's going to make you a better, wiser person. That's it. It's an early bed, early rise, make a man healthy, wealthy, and wise. You need your rest. You need to be able to think clear. You need to be functioning at your best whenever you're doing what you're doing. And that's daily. Practice it. You get good at it. Trust me. And if not, you're just not a good person. Alright. But daily practice of anything that's constructive and positive for you will help you become a better person. Oh, you gotta just practice it. Religion, practice it. Islam, practice it. Judaism, practice it. Why? It works. Right thinking, practice it. Same thing. Moving on. All right. Now, watch this. Okay. While it is true, again, that yogic practices may be found in religion, and they don't practice meditation in religion. I'm watching. I don't say much. I just, well, I hear everybody praying. Yeah, okay, we pray. I'm on the prayer line. I'm prayer warrior. Yeah. But who the meditators? Y'all got to understand, your one-on-one with God is you connecting with him for yourself. The pastors can't get to God for you. If y'all think that, you really got that thing messed up. But they find that yoga practices may be found in religion. Strictly speaking, though, yoga is neither a religion, and hear me, like right thinking, is neither a religion or a philosophy, but it should be thought of more as a way of life or a discipline. I say spiritual discipline for what? For promoting greater fullness and having experience of life. To have your best life, to live your best life, give your best effort and do your best at whatever it is you're doing. That's life. Yoga was developed at the dawn of history by those who wanted what? More out of life. They thought it was more to life than just getting up and doing regular stuff. So what happened? And these special men and women wanted to discover the true origins of creation and themselves. Not a bad idea. Okay, so therefore what happened? They set out to explore the vast reaches of consciousness. Ding, 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 ding. God is pure consciousness. That means he knows all. Again, y'all say that, but you understand what it means. Stop hearing in verse people say things and you repeating them without knowing what they mean. Old sayings should be meant to be understood by the person. When you hear it, okay, I get it. That's what keeps it around. It is true. But if you don't understand it, you just say it. Why are you saying it? Know what you're saying. Be conscious of what's coming out your pie hole. That's the point. And God is very good at that. So within themselves, your consciousness have to grow and get better. So there are sometimes what referred to as seers or sages, gurus, mystics, etc. But because of their awareness or their consciousness can only be increased when what? When the mind is in a state of peace, rest, and harmony. You can't think clear when you're upset. If you're in a situation where you got to get angry, you can't make good decisions. Anger and good decisions don't go together. Emotional rage and good decisions don't go together. Breathe. Calm. Let the heart think that everything is okay. Why? By breathing. Okay, calm the heart first. That's why. It's an old technique. Native Americans been using it forever. But I found out that it works. Why? I practice it. No, I know how to use it. It's a technique I use. And thus, your spiritual disciplines of meditation, which are part of yoga, not religion. Again, it's a very important part of yoga. Religion, not so much. Y'all into praying, okay, talking to God, but you ain't listening to God. And wisdom, the philosophical teachings, there we go. If you have a philosophical understanding of what you're being taught, you can learn it and understand it, the reality as it is. And you can practice and perform it for yourself. And what? The primary means to controlling one's mind is allowing you, the individual, to mature psychologically and spiritually. That means you have to learn and do. Learn it and do it. That's the difference. Practice what you learn. You learn to practice it. You don't learn just to know it. You learn to implement it in your life daily. Okay, let me go. We got a little bit more. The teachings which were practiced, again, that's the main part about being taught. You're going to practice what you're learning. You should. Okay. But in the ancient Egyptian temples, were the same ones later intellectually defined into a literary form by the Indian sages of Vedanta yoga. And this was discussed in the book earlier. I read that to you first, Egyptian Yoga, my favorite. And The Philosophy of Enlightenment. That book changed my life. The Indian mysteries of yoga and Vedanta represents an unfolding and intellectual expression of what? The Egyptian mysteries that they borrowed and they used, practiced for themselves. Put their twist on it. Moving on. Also, the study of Gnostic Christians also followed the Egyptian philosophy, or Christians before who? The Roman Catholicism. You had Gnostic Christians before you had Christians. Gnostic means to know. They preached in philosophy to know God. The Romans don't want that. They want you to believe what they tell you about God. Moving on. And before the Roman Catholicism will be useful, why? To our study. And since what? Christianity, you ready? Originated in ancient Egypt and also based on ancient Egyptian mysteries. So therefore, the study of the Egyptian mysteries, early Christianity, and Indian Vedanta Yoga all will provide the most comprehensive teaching on how to practice the spiritual disciplines of yoga, leading to what? The attainment of spiritual enlightenment. Their whole goal was to get you to become spiritually enlightened by any means necessary. They give you 5 different routes to take, a whole bunch of things to do, but the work is up to you. That's the difference. And the question is how to accomplish these seemingly impossible tasks. How am I going to know God? How to transform yourself and to realize your deepest mysteries of existence, knowing thyself. How to discover who am I? How you do that? Practice a philosophy that'll get you to do just that. Oh, religion. Moving on. Yoga. And watch this. This is the mission of yoga philosophy. Their whole goal is yoga to get you to God, to link you to your past, your essence of who you are, your higher self, whatever you want to call it. And the purpose of yoga practices, yoga does not seek, listen good, I'm not trying to convert or impose religious beliefs on anyone. I'm offering a philosophical practice that you as an individual can make yours. You ain't got to stop being religious. You ain't got to stop being Christian, Muslim, or Jew. All you got to do is learn the lessons and implement it in your life, and you'll see it's enhancement. Ancient Egypt was the source of all civilization and the source of what they call religion, but it was based on a yoga philosophy. Therefore, all systems of mystical spirituality can what? Coexist harmoniously. I just told you, you ain't got to stop being nothing to learn this philosophy or practice it. Within these teachings, when they are correctly understood, you have full understanding and total knowledge of what? Self. Through practice and understanding that makes that possible. Not because I say so, not because you listen to me, but because you put into effect and know for yourself. I can't do it for you. All I can do is guide you and point you in the right direction and give you instructions. You got to take it from there. Wrapping it up. The goal of yoga or right thinking philosophy is to promote integration of what? The mind, body, and soul complex in order to what? Produce your optimum health of the human being. All your chakras lined up, the body is functioning at full capacity. There's no disease, there's no illness, there's no sickness. Moving on. I haven't seen a doctor in 10 years. Moving on. I've been saying that now. Moving on. But yeah, good health. Living right makes that possible. Moving on. And this is accomplished now. It can be accomplished how? Through mental and physical daily exercises, which will promote what? Your free flow of your spiritual energy, the Kundalini, by what? Reducing mental complexes caused by ignorance. The more you know yourself, the less you are confused about anything else. Worrying about a whole bunch of stuff and don't know you really gonna be lost. So at least know thyself. So there are 2 roads which human beings can follow. Again, that's the best odds you can have in life. If you're a gambler, I just gave a lesson about gambling. Ain't no odds nowhere 50-50. But in life, God give you a 50-50 shot. being right or being wrong. You can do good, you can do bad. You can do right or you can get wrong. Simple as that, but that's a 50-50 shot. I take them odds every day. I live by them. I ain't got no problem with that. So understand that. Your best shot is with God. He got the best odds. If you're a gambler, man, bet on God. I do. In the path, watch this, the two paths, the two roads. One of two roads to follow. One, watch this, of wisdom, right thinking, and the other of ignorance, religion. I'm just saying. But the path of the masses, y'all generally choose the path of religion, aka ignorance, which I'm not saying, which leads them what into negative situations because of the ignorance, negative thoughts, and even bad deeds. That's not spirituality. That's not right thinking philosophy. That's religious concepts that fall under that. These, watch this, these in turn lead to what? Ill health. I just told you. And sorrow in life. You're going to be disappointed. You're going to be frustrated. You're going to have daily trauma and drama in your life. Fretted feel because you're going to be causing yourself all these problems because of your ignorance. And you want to blame everybody else except yourself because of ignorance again. And the other road, that arduous road, that road that nobody wants to go, that I walk down, anybody out there, that other road is based on wisdom. And it leads to health, good health, true happiness, and spiritual enlightenment. I want to drop the pen, but I still got some more to go. I'm almost home. But the goal of right thinking philosophy, my mission is to extol, that means extract the wisdom of yoga and the mystical spirituality from the ancient Egyptian perspective and to show in the practice of the teachings through my own understanding and practice by what? Reading books, watching videos, listen to audio productions, and you may find a complete listing of all Dr. Muata Ashby's in the back of every one of his books. He got a whole bunch of it, and I got most of them. So, yeah, wrapping it up again. Now, how do you study wisdom teachings? Good question. I can answer that in a few minutes. How about that? Let me wrap it up for that good question. I'm going to wrap it up with this one. There is specific teaching, yoga philosophies, which prescribed by scriptures themselves for studying. That's what it's there for, to study the teaching. And proverbs, aphorisms of mystical wisdom, old sayings, the method is as follows. Watch this. The spiritual aspirant, you, right thinker, should read the desired text thoroughly. I read this book all day. Before I get a lesson, I read. And take note of any particular teachings. Keep my highlighter. If it's something I want to highlight, as I go right there, keep it with me all the time for study purposes. Where I can reference what I read and go back to find it so I can use it from remembering and coming back and getting to it. In all my books, you'll see Yellow Brick Road. Follow it. Now, the aspirant should make habits of collecting those teachings and constantly reading them over frequently. The more you read, the more you get to understand it. It seems to say something different every time, and I know that for a fact. But the scriptures should be read and reread. Why? Because the subtle levels of the teachings have to be, you got to look at it from a different perspective and look at it again and try it out again. Oh, yeah, there you go. And what happened? The teachings will now be increasingly understood by you. And the more the teachings are reviewed and understood and practiced, the better you get at it. Mastery, self-mastery. One useful exercise is what? Is to choose some of your most special teachings, sayings, that you would like to focus on, and you place them on large types of posters. Got them all around here, okay? In your living area. So what? So as to be visible for you, to remind you of the teachings, to keep it fresh. I call it being God conscious. Christians call it being prayed up. I like to have information where I can look and remember. Yeah, my man back here. These are things, I use them for examples. Things that keep me, remind me of staying grounded in who I am and where I come from and where I'm trying to go. Moving on, wrapping it up for you. But now, watch this. The aspirant, you right thinkers, you should at least discuss the teachings with others or the teacher, or like-minded people when possible. Not argumentative people who going to give you pushback, who ain't going to understand, so it's not good to do that. Find somebody who think like you do, and y'all can have an engaging conversation. You can't have an intelligent conversation with an ignorant person, because this will help to promote a greater understanding and a act as an active spiritual practice daily, in which the teachings are kept at the forefront. I'm always conscious of my yacht. I'm always thinking of what balancing my life, keeping everything where it's supposed to be. And you keep it in the forefront of your mind, the Abdul God, the front part. In this way, what? The teachings can now become in what? An integral part of what? Your everyday life. Ding, 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 ding. Right there. If you start practicing the teachings that you learn every day, it becomes a way of life. Hence, not a religion, a philosophy that you can practice and manifest for yourself, and not reserved for any particular time or day or the week. You do it daily. You go to church on Sunday, yeah, that's the practice tradition. You have prayer line on Wednesday, another tradition. But during the week, you have to set your own routine to do the things you need to do. If you want your blessing, you have to put the work in. You earn them. Praying don't get a damn blessing. Excuse me. Wrapping it up again. The daily study of the wisdom teachings should be continuous, a continuous process in which what? In which the teachings become the prominent factor of life, rather than a useless and oftentimes negative and illusory thoughts of those who are what? Ignorant of their spiritual truths. Again, if you ain't studying, you ain't practicing, you don't know. And this spiritual discipline, if done correct, should be observed until you reach enlightenment is attained by you. Okay? And wrapping it up, may you discover supreme peace, Hotep, in this very lifetime. Not the next one. Why? Because if you don't find it now, you got to come back. That's why I want it for your next lifetime. I'm going to give it to you now. Why? I already know I'm not coming back. I watched both my gurus, my mystics, and they say once you enlighten, no more coming back. But once you're enlightened, you go home. No coming back. The only thing come back is what? The unenlightened. Get enlightened before time is up, or guess what? You'll be back. I'm out. Hope you got the lesson. Hope you enjoyed it. I sure did. I got plenty more for you, but right now I got to hit to the gym. So in closing, right thinkers, may you all live to be 100. Me, 100 minus the day. So I never know that my right thinkers have passed away. I'll be back.